Brand new, redefined, Maker's Gonna Learn headquarters. We are still a work in progress, as always.
Always, but you know, there's always room for improvement.
And today's improvement is we're trying out our new set.
Yay!
I just want to give a shout out to our very own Alicia for donating an additional panel. Are both of these yours?
Yep, you know what? Bought that one.
Uh-huh.
You guys want to know a secret?
I want to know a secret.
This is actually an old countertop I bought at a yard sale. And actually, they gave it to me for free at a yard sale.
No way.
And this one, I think my husband made it. So thank you. Shout out to the hubs.
I just want to say thank you for this contribution. I will say the lighting is actually still really bad. Look at this lighting situation.
Has been a situation.
We are, so our new studio, we love it. It's in the best part of town.
It's in a great part of town.
Our ceilings are low. And we're just like reassessing our new lighting. So don't judge us by our lighting today. We're just so excited to hang out with you. And we will never miss a time to hang out, whether we're lit perfect or not. So welcome everyone. Hope you guys are having a great day. It is the Wednesday before Memorial Day.
Yes, it snuck up on me.
It's very important. I hope you're planning your full itinerary of what food you're gonna be eating this weekend. I have already planned to make burgers.
Okay.
Chicken Philly cheesesteaks.
Oh.
And I love a good summer breakfast. So I'll probably be eating some eggs and making my sourdough starter died and Holly's sourdough starter died. So we're working on it.
Well, I'm going to take a trip to the farmer's market because it's open now. And it's like my ritual every Saturday morning. I just love going. So.
Okay, well, maybe I'll need to hop over there. They opened a dock like on the water for breakfast that I really want to go to Saturday.
Okay.
So now I have two different.
We sold our boat last year, so I'll have to swim, I guess.
So fun. Well, what are we doing today? We're pulling out the sewing machine again.
Yes, because you guys are loving sewing projects apparently, which I love. Sewing beside it goes painting and then it goes sewing for me.
So fun.
And like I'm not, like your grandma who can quilt anything, but I just love sewing so much. I
think there's a new version of a sewist. Because you're not a seamstress, it's
like a crafty sewer. I'm a craft sewer.
Yes.
I know generally how to sew, and this project is really good. If you haven't sewn and you want to kind of get into it, this is a great beginner project.
So good.
Yeah.
We're so excited.
Yes.
So that's what we're covering today. It's going to be a really fun little wreath idea. Ooh, I love wreaths.
It's
especially
very
in the summer.
Yeah.
I love it. This is giving Pottery Barn for me.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's like very on trend, very high class. You guys are really going to love it.
It's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
We are bringing back, we taught a conference at the end of April, and we decided, because it was so popular, so in demand, we wanted to do a summer edition.
Yeah.
So if you missed coming to the Etsy Effect in April, we are hosting almost the same exact conference. It'll be a little different. If you went before, you know how valuable it is. Come again. It's happening June, this June, so please grab your ticket. If you have no idea what we're talking about, it is the meatiest, I want to say experience. I don't even want to say a conference. It's the meatiest experience we've ever put together for sellers.
Yeah.
I mean, we do craft events all the time, but we're bringing back this one specifically for those of you who are like, I want to learn how to sell this summer.
Right.
Because here's the thing. If you're wanting to sell things like this on Etsy, if you're wanting to do print on demand, if you're wanting to do digital files, we teach all of it. We'll go over those tracks at the conference. But if you want to make money for Christmas, you've got to do the work now.
Now is the time.
Yeah, so it is going to be super fun. Would love to see you at the Etsy Effect. We have Ashley Falco coming back. You have yours truly, and Sadie Lewis is teaching a class too. So read about the classes. If you have questions, we'll answer in the chat. And we're so excited to be here crafting.
I love it. I feel like this Etsy Effect, even if you did come the first time, it's a lot like when you reread a book or rewatch a show.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, I didn't get that last time.
Yeah.
And I think that's what's so fun about it.
These summits, this conference, we only give 7-day replay to make sure you consume as much as possible in the 7 days. So we do encourage, if you went before, you want to come again, you will experience it in a whole new level. I reread the same books over and over again for the same thing you're saying. I experience it in a whole new way the second, third time. I'm like, I didn't understand it that way.
And you evolve as a person and as an Etsy seller, you even evolve and you're like, I already know that now, so now I can further understand this concept.
And we talk very we can help you. I mean, Ashley's class is all about being a 6-figure Etsy seller, and one of the things I've asked her to teach more on this round is talking all about time blocking and going deep with it, and like we'll be drinking from a fire hydrant because she is such a pro at it. So we love Ashley.
I love an actionable step.
Yes.
Like I love a task. I'm like, you can teach me all day, but give me something to do. I'm on it. I'm on it.
It's so good.
Yeah, it is. It's
Kathy,
awesome.
oh my gosh. So stick with us for July. We will be releasing at our Christmas in July event, which we'll start letting you all know when that is soon. We're planning it this week, actually. Yes. We're going to give you probably the dates for all of our big programs coming out for the rest of the year. We've been quiet, and when we're quiet, first of all, we've been moving.
Right.
We're also working on so many fun things for you. You're going to be in for a treat. We have some new things coming we've never done before. I have some things because Etsy Effect went so well. We'll probably be bringing that concept to our crafters, and I want to do something really fun for Christmas crafters, and we've got some ideation happening behind the scenes, so stick with us. It's going to be so good. You're going to be in for a treat. For MGL Plus, all full access pass people, you're going to be real busy with us the rest of the year, so get ready. It's gonna be so fun. We can't wait, and we'll give you the full calendar coming out soon.
Yes.
So yay, I love it. Let's dive in.
Okay, let's go ahead. We're gonna come over here, and we are going. Oops, I kicked my water. We are going to start our project now. I took this off of the wreath, so you can kind of get a picture of what we're making. It's actually just a scarf. I'm just kidding, but it does look like a graduation sash. Honestly, you could this is a multi-use thing. So anyways, we're making a wreath sash. This is something that you would tie onto the bottom of, this is a boxwood wreath, but any type of greenery wreath, and you just tie it onto the bottom. I wish I would have kept this tied, but we're gonna tie it again at the end once we're done, so it's not that big of a deal. You're gonna be able to see it, but virtually it's gonna be hanging here, and I'm even gonna tell you guys how to tie it because it's kind of weird, but it's super easy. This project alone is just chef's kiss. It's just so easy to reproduce. You can kind of use whatever color scheme you want. We went with something really simple, and you can just get the fabric. Maybe you already have the fabric. I know lots of people who just hoard fabric, me for one. So you probably already have a lot of this stuff, but what you're gonna need to get started, I'm gonna go through a couple things, and it's really not a lot of stuff, you guys. So obviously you're gonna need a sewing machine. This is the Brother XR3240. You can use any basic sewing machine. Honestly, if you have the patience, you could hand stitch something like this. You could even hot glue this project. Like if you don't have a sewing machine, anytime I'm stitching, replace with hot glue, and you could be good to go, honestly. So with that being said, you are gonna need some trim. Let's go overhead, and I'm gonna show you guys what this looks like. This is called decorative trim. It's from Merchant 41, which is a Hobby Lobby brand. And I'm gonna actually open this so you guys can see what this ribbon looks like close up. Take this pin out. See, this is very, what do you call this? Lauren's producing for us, by the way. Yay! Hi, Lauren.
Hi, Lauren.
There's a specific name for that.
It's rickrack? If you're a sewist, let us know what this is called, because I think there isn't a specific name. I call it wavy ribbon.
We love it.
It is rickrack. See, I knew Lauren would know it. I knew. She's full of fun facts. Okay, so you're gonna need some rickrack, whatever color you want to match your fabric. We do have two options here. I'm debating on if I want to do this checkered fabric, which I'm literally obsessed with, but I also don't want it to look like baby shower. So I don't know. Maybe we'll do the blue. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments. Do you want gingham, blue gingham, or blue solid? Blue gingham or blue solid? Drop it in the comments right now. Whoever wins, we'll go with that one.
Love it.
You're gonna need some pin. Oh, I just poked myself. You're gonna need some pins. You can also just use clips. I love, if you're getting into sewing, honestly, just skip the pins, go straight for the clips.
The clips are life-changing.
They really are. Also, I got my nails done, guys, but this color does not cure well, and my thumb came off, so my thumb looks disgusting. Oh, no. I'm so sorry. And it's obviously on my dominant hand, but that's okay. So we're gonna use clips here. I just have a couple. What'd you say?
I started a poll.
Oh, there is a poll on the fabrics.
Yes,
vote
tell
on the poll.
us.
If you commented, go ahead and go back and vote.
Honey, they want this gingham. The
They did.
gingham
I
is
knew it. I knew you guys would want the gingham.
it.
My biggest dilemma is we have white HTV, so we may need to get a different color. Red HTV for a 4th of July.
Ooh.
That takes it from baby shower to like vintage Americana. Yeah, 4th of July all day long. Okay, Tanner's going to get us some red HTV, which I think is going to be super cute. I do have a cutting, like a self-healing cutting mat here. Honestly, we're not doing a ton of cutting, so if you don't have that, you can just totally cut this right in your living room floor or your craft room floor. I do have a measuring tape and some scissors, so just basic sewing things. Now, I'm gonna move this sewing machine out of the way because we are going to cut our fabric to start. Now, if you've got a pen sitting around, you're gonna need to write these measurements down for your fabric. So when you go to the store to get your fabric, you get enough. Go ahead and get enough to make 2 or 3. Thank you so much. Get enough to make 2 or 3 because you're gonna want to. Okay, you're gonna make one and you're gonna wanna make another one, and then your friend's gonna want one of them. So just get enough to make a few. And you're gonna need 1 roll of this rickrack goes for 1 entire sash. So with the measurements that we're using today. So however many you plan on making, get that many of this stuff. So get your pen and paper out. Here are our measurements for our fabric. You are going to need it to be 7 inches wide by 46 inches long. Now, let me double check. I'm gonna double check this because we wrote this down earlier and I just wanna make sure. So it ends up being, yeah, well, technically, Lauren, it'll be 14 inches wide pre-cut, if that makes sense, by 46 inches long. So the 7 inches gives us a little bit of room. It gives us some seam allowance, and it ends up being about 6 inches wide, like in the final product. So we're gonna cut it 14 inches wide by 46 inches long. So let's go ahead, gingham 1, by landslide. So we're gonna use the gingham and we're gonna use red vinyl. Look, guys, look, it's adorable.
I love it.
I'm obsessed with it. It's so
was
cute.
meant to happen.
It was fate. Okay, so I'm gonna just lay out my fabric. I'm also gonna go ahead and grab my mini easy press. Now, if you don't have a mini easy press, all you're gonna need is an iron or some type of heat source. A Cricut easy press would be just fine. Y'all know I love my mini easy press. It's my go-to. And I don't want anything else. This is me and this mini easy press against the world, honestly. And I'm gonna put it on the highest heat setting for ironing out my cotton because the cotton needs a lot of heat.
Yes.
So I've got it, and typically when I'm using this mini easy press, I only go to the 2nd heat setting, but today we're gonna take it all the way up when you're ironing fabric. And I'm not gonna iron on my self-healing mat. Okay, I'm just gonna move them down here. We don't really need them right now. Okay, so let's lay this out. Make sure the area you're working in is very clean. And also, if you're working with directional fabric, I honestly don't want to encourage you all to use, thank you, any type of directional fabric for this. I think it's just going to make it a little bit more complicated. So you want to use a non-directional pattern fabric or just a solid color is going to be your best bet. Now this piece, and I know you guys can't see like the entire thing. What I'm going to do is fold this over. So I'm just folding over my edge. Can they generally see that?
Should I zoom out?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's zoom out a little bit.
Okay.
Let's zoom out just a tad bit for our crafting.
Tanner's gonna zoom you guys out so you can see overhead a little bit better.
Is this going in? Yeah, okay, I just want to make sure. How about here?
That's better. Yes.
Better, more?
No, just
Beautiful.
back out.
Back in?
Back out.
You want me to leave?
Yes.
Okay. Well, back out, it could be like
Back out,
zoom
back
it
in.
back out.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, that's fine.
That's like when people say they turn the air up or the air down. I'm like, is it hotter or colder in here? I don't know.
So the camera keeps autofocus.
We just need to
because
place
it's-
something there
because
for it to
the-
focus on.
Yeah, you need to put something on that fabric for it to focus on.
Thank you.
Is that better for you?
Perfect,
Yeah, it's
perfect.
just the lighting is very bright on that
Yeah.
white fabric.
Oh, I saw we.
It's fine.
Okay, so this is where we're at, guys. So I folded over. You see I folded it over. This side is not usable. This is the pretty side. I'm just measuring right now, though. So I want it to be 7 inches once it's folded. So technically speaking, this is going to be 14 inches all the way across, but we're folding it like a hot dog.
Something on that, or it's just
Yes.
keep autofocusing.
Thank you.
Is that focusing in there?
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'm going to have to move it in a second because I got to cut. But we'll go to camera 1 when we cut. Okay, so we're at 7 inches across, and then I'm going to measure this way. And we need this to be, the original one was 46, and I think it's shorter this way. Hold on, guys. We've got to figure this out because it can be a little bit shorter than 46, but this fabric is only 45 or 44. So let's see how long it is this way. Let's see. Oh, it's even shorter the other way. Okay. So we're just going to make it a little bit shorter than before, which is no biggie. It's just not going to have as long of tails. That is totally fine.
Love it.
Okay. So we're going to line this back up. Hopefully it's not getting crazy on the focusing. We're about to cut anyway, so it's no biggie. Okay. 7 inches. And what's nice about this fabric is that it's checkered and I can line everything like right up with one another. Okay. So we literally, if we can go to camera 1,
We're go cut, cut, cut.
we're just going to cut straight across. It's already the length that we need it to be.
Love it.
So we're just going to cut it straight across. I said 46 inches. If you don't have 46 inches of fabric, this is literally 44 inches of fabric. So we're just a couple inches short, which
Perfect.
is fine. Sometimes your fabrics will just not run long enough, if that makes sense. Okay, I'm going to turn this, and we can just stay on camera 1 while I cut this because it's going to go out of focus. Just lining this up. Okay. And then we're just going to cut straight down.
across.
Straight down.
Woohoo.
Okay. Does anybody have any questions about the measurements or anything
So let's
like
just
that?
talk about it. For anyone that's here that's like, oh my gosh, this is adorable, but Alicia, I don't like to sew. Like, let's talk through that for a minute. Because I
Okay.
would probably be more so on that boat. Like,
Yes.
I'm not pulling out the sewing machine.
Like, even if you have one, you
even if
don't-
I have one, I don't want to do it. But I love this project. I want to be Pottery Barn too.
Okay.
What is your favorite suggestion?
Okay. Pottery Barn on a budge.
Pottery Barn without the sewing.
Minus the sewing. You're going to
Add the fabric.
add the fabric, plug your hot glue gun in.
Yes.
That's all you need. It's a
Love
hot
it.
glue. Listen,
Love
ain't
it.
nothing in the world a hot glue gun can't
I love
fix.
that.
Either that or some heat and bond.
I was thinking
Heat
heat and
and
bond too
bond.
would be fun.
Yes.
Here's the thing about heat and bond. It is something that after you master it, you will think of all the things you could use with it. So
I know.
hot glue is lovely.
Yes.
Heat and bond is better. So if you've been dying to play with heat and bond, you're like, why would I use heat and bond? I have a hot glue gun. Try it because you will fall in love with heat and bond. It's
And it
so
just
incredible.
adds some, like, I don't know, some stability to fabric projects that hot glue can't give. So I do really
Agreed.
like that. So I'm just cutting off this little, sometimes your fabrics will have this little label at the end. I'm cutting that off. I don't want to worry about that popping up in my project.
Okay.
Know that you can make one little thing and just rip that whole thing off.
Lauren says you can just snip it and then rip it off. It'll
Have
just
you ever
rip
saw
off.
that? Alicia, have you ever saw that happen?
No.
Oh, it's cool.
I've never seen that. I've never seen
Lauren
that.
is go demonstrate it.
Can you do it? Oh, Lauren, come on
Come
screen.
on air. Come on in.
Here, get you a little cut.
Okay.
Okay, Lauren's gonna demonstrate. I feel like you're about to karate chop
This
a brick
is-
in half.
You just
There's
do
some
this.
really
You
crazy
do a
hacks
little
when it comes to
tiny,
sewing.
Tiny this.
Ta-da!
Heavens.
And it, perfect line down
Oh,
the middle.
that's definitely like not something I would want or choose to do. I'm just like not so aggressive about it, but I love that.
That's neat.
Okay, so fun. Fun little hack. Okay, look, this is what we have. We're already almost there, guys.
It's amazing.
What do you know? Okay, before I do anything else, I'm going to iron this fabric because I do not and will not. Oh, there's something on the iron. Love that. I do not and will not sew without ironing my fabric down. So we're just gonna
So
wipe
you
this
do
off.
not sew without ironing it down. Can we talk towards that? Is
Yes.
this to like make sure you have less craft fails?
You wanna make sure you're not having any craft fails. Not to mention, if you've got creases in your fabric, you're going to, it's gonna mess your measurements up.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you've gotta make sure that everything is pressed and crispy and just ready to go. I can't believe I got something on there, but it's right in the middle, so I think it's gonna be hidden by the wreath.
Beautiful.
I'm not too worried about that. If I was smart, I could turn this inside out and iron it from the inside of the fabric. And matter of fact, we need to turn it inside out anyway. So we need to be looking at the back of the fabric whenever we're sewing. So a lot of times with sewing projects, you're kind of working your way from, you're like working your way from the deconstructed part until you build it into the finished part, if that makes sense. So we're like doing it backwards. So we're working from the inside of the fabric out. So I'm just gonna line this back up, and then we're going to iron it on the back side as well. You can never iron it too much, I don't think.
Love it.
Maybe certain fabrics, but not cotton. So there we go. Also, if you plan on putting this maybe like outside and then you think I might need to wash it sometimes, either buy pre-washed cotton, especially if you plan on putting HTV on this. You need to purchase pre-washed cotton fabric, or you need to wash it before you sew it. Because if you don't wash it and you sew this and then you put the vinyl on it and then you go to wash it later down the road, it's going to shrivel your HTV up, which is not cute. So we don't want to do that.
Love it.
Okay, so we've got that ironed out. Now we need to cut an angle. So let me grab this one. Oops. So this one right here, if we go overhead, you all can see that this is at an angle. So when we go to cut our fabric, we're gonna go ahead and fold it in half and cut it at the same exact angle, okay? So I'm just gonna take my fabric and we are going to fold it in half like this, okay? And we're gonna cut just at an angle, same angle, okay? Now if you want,
Something dark into the grain.
remind me and I'll put my little pins there. So it can be as steep or as subtle as you want. You could dovetail it if you're feeling crazy. I'm not gonna do that though. We're just gonna do an angle. I like just the subtle.
Yeah, the angles are really fun.
Yeah, I feel like that is what makes it look so classy. Now you can get something out, like if you wanted to take a ruler and get like an exact angle, y'all know how I am. I just like to eyeball it. Look, perfect. And it's not gonna matter. I mean, if you cut them at separate times, you'd have to worry about them being exact, but we folded it over so they are exactly how they should be.
Awesome.
Okay, so now that we have got our outside pieces done, we need to sew it together, okay? So what we're gonna do next is we are going to bring our sewing machine over.
Hopefully it'll focus in on that. Sorry guys for a little.
I know, I'm gonna sew right here in the Cricut camera so you guys can see it a lot better. How's that? Is that focusing good?
Yes.
Good?
Love it.
Okay. Beautiful. So we're gonna be sewing this. Now don't worry about the rickrack yet. We're gonna get to that here in a minute. You're gonna be sewing your wreath sash first, and then we're gonna add on our rickrack, okay? So remember, we're sewing the wrong side of the fabric right now, and you really could pretty much start wherever you wanted. I'm trying to debate on my best place to have a hole. I'm just gonna leave a little gap right here in my angle, and I'm gonna start sewing right here on this edge. Now, if you need to pin it, you can pin it now. So you can take these little clips that I showed you all earlier, and you can clip them along the edge. But when I'm sewing a straight edge, typically I don't need to do that. Let me show you all what it looks like. You can kind of pin it along the edge like that if you need to, just to kind of hold it in place where it needs to be. That's mainly the reason you want to do it, because otherwise you're going to get to the bottom of your project and it's going to be all crooked and you're going to have holes. Okay, now load it back in. Can everybody see? I know that it's not the best angle, but can you guys pretty much see that?
Yes.
Yes.
Should we zoom in to the camera?
Why don't you move the Cricut and let me?
Okay, perfect. We're go zoom in a little bit more.
How's that? Better? Okay. Here we go. So I put my foot down. So this is your foot right here. Okay. And then I went ahead and used my knob to put my needle down into the fabric. You don't want to just start sewing without your needle down into the fabric. Sometimes it can break your needle. This cotton is really soft, but it's a good habit to get into. And then we're just going to go ahead and start. And the speed is much faster, Tanner, than last time. Remember how slow? It was so slow.
Well, we
I
got
must
to
have
do.
knocked
I
our
love that
speed.
project though.
I
And I think it
know.
was really good to go slow with the paper.
I
Our
know.
little box, our little
Our little bunnies.
lunchbox. Wait, what would you, brown paper bags, right?
Yes, lunch bags.
So fun.
So this is just like a normal straight stitch. Okay, and I'm trying to keep the edge of my fabric lined up with the edge of my foot. My sewing foot, not my real foot. And a lot of times you'll see, like if I'm sewing, I put my arm right through this because I like to hold my fabric taut. I just feel like I can control it better. But you'll get your own little thing going if you start picking up sewing. Also, let us know in the comments if sewing is something that you want to see more of. What types of projects would you like? Do you need a course? Do you need just a few classes? Like, what do you need, you know? Okay, so for the angles, I'm gonna lift my foot up. We're going to pivot our fabric. So wherever you're sewing, it needs to be directly in line with your needle, okay? So my fabric's gonna kind of sit at an angle on my table right now. That's why you kind of need a lot of space to sew. And then I'm gonna put my foot back down and we're just gonna keep on trucking. Now I am gonna make sure to pin this. Well, clip it. I say pin it, but y'all know what I mean. And then as you go, you're just gonna take your little clips off. Okay, once you get to the corner, we're gonna kind of slow down, okay? I'm going to lift my foot up and we're gonna swing this back around. So your little sash, I wanna keep calling it a scarf, so if you hear me say that, I'm sorry. You're gonna move your sash back down and then we're gonna line up right in line with our needle, put our foot back down, and then we're gonna sew. Remember, keep the edge of your fabric in line with the edge of your foot so that you have a really straight stitch.
Listen, we've got some questions and comments about embroidery, and people would like to see some scrunchies.
Scrunchies. Okay.
So fun.
I love a good scrunchie. Now, when you start getting to the end, don't forget we got to leave a hole because we got to turn it right side out. So don't forget. Okay, I'm getting to a corner again, so slow down. We're gonna lift this up. I like to keep my needle down also whenever I rotate my fabric because it kind of holds it in place. If you pull your needle out, your fabric and your thread are gonna be like moving around, so keep your needle down inside of your fabric as you rotate it. And this is the edge that we need to leave a hole in, okay? So I'm going to sew this about, I don't even know, like 4 or 5 inches. I'm gonna leave a gap big enough for me to pull that fabric to the right side out, okay?
Love it.
All right. Beautiful. I'm gonna do a back stitch a couple times. So this is basically reinforcing that stitch right
Making sure
before
it's
the
not going
hole.
anywhere.
Yeah, because what'll happen is you'll start pulling your fabric through that hole, and if you didn't reinforce that stitch, your threads are gonna start coming out. So We want to make sure not to do that. And we will be sewing this hole up, so no worries.
Lisa asked, may I ask why the folded side has to be sewed?
It doesn't have to be, but it does look more
official.
Yes, it won't look finished if you don't, I think. And also, it's just going to be like, there's going to be like airflow inside of it, so it's like pillowy looking, and I just don't like that. But you know, you can try it without.
Wait till you see the finish. It's so good.
Yeah. So I'm just going to pull that out. I did push my needle up so it wasn't still in my fabric. Otherwise, you can't pull your fabric out.
Love it.
I'm going to clip these threads. And now we're going to start turning this inside out. It's going to get wrinkly again, and we're going to iron it again. Okay, so keep that iron on. And I'm going to start with my corner. And this is kind of a...
This is the hardest part of sewing.
It's a slow... Yeah, you just got to do it. Oh, one thing...
Have you seen those sticks that people have?
Yes. Lauren's talking about the sticks that people use to turn your fabric inside out. Something else that I do is I cut my corners. That way you don't have like bulky corners on your project. So if we go overhead, you all can see I have this big...
Put the red underneath it.
Yes, we're needing more contrast. Sorry.
Can you see that?
Love it.
So this is kind of bulky right here. I'm going to snip that off. I do not want any of that. Okay, because whenever we flip this inside out, I need to have as little bulk as possible. And we're going to do it on the other one as well. But I like to get up in these corners, and when I push it through, you can use your finger, use something pointy but not sharp to really get that corner out. And then we're just going to keep pulling this through. It's like pulling scarves out of a magician's hat is what it feels like.
Amazing.
And then we're just going to, this fabric is adorable, you guys. I cannot deal. Should we put a monogram on it?
Ooh.
I feel like that'd be the classiest thing to do.
Yeah, like a front
monogram.
door, 4th of July.
Yes.
Patriotic.
Yeah, for sure.
So fun.
This one's actually not too bad to turn inside out.
Yeah.
And I saw a TikTok tutorial of a girl did something similar to this, and she made bows for Easter baskets using this same shape.
Oh my gosh, even the fabric would be fun for Easter.
Yes, it would. I know we just had Easter, but
Never
for
can be too prepared.
yeah, you never can. Okay. So yeah, this is where one of those sticks would come in, and I also forgot to cut my corner there. But you know what? It's fine. Cut all your corners. Don't be like me. Cut them before you start turning it inside out. Okay. Look, we're almost there. Oh my gosh, we're so close. Also, that little spot, I got a little spot from the iron.
Yeah.
It's gonna be covered with her rickrack.
Amazing.
Yeah, so it doesn't even matter. Okay, so we've got this. Now I'm gonna iron this out because I need it to look nice and crispy clean for our rickrack. I'm gonna try to like flatten it out on my own. And actually, let's go ahead and sew our little hole up before we iron it. I think. I'm gonna actually iron where we're gonna sew first, just that section, because I want it to stay still for me. So this is where my little hole is. And excuse me, I'm just gonna put a pin. Trying to see where it starts and stops. I'm putting a clip right before that thread ends, and then I'm gonna put a clip just right over here. So I only need to sew this part right here, okay? We're just gonna take it over to our sewing machine. This will be on the outside, but remember, we're putting that rickrack on it, so you can't really see it anyways. Okay. And I'm actually gonna have to move that clip because I need to really see what I'm doing here.
What would you say to someone who wants to get into sewing, Alicia? Like, what was learning your sewing machine, like getting familiar with it? What was that like for you?
Lots of just experimenting.
Yeah.
I was like obsessed with it when I learned how to do it. So I literally would just sit in my floor and sew for hours.
It's so funny you said the floor. I was going to just tell a story. Courtney, when she got into sewing, she dedicated an entire weekend. I'll never forget. It was probably one of the first weekends her family like truly left her and her sister home alone.
Yeah.
She was pretty young, like 17 probably. So not super young. But anyway, she dedicated a whole weekend. And from Friday night, Saturday, into Sunday, she's like, I'm going to have a couple finished projects and I'm going to sit on my floor. There's something about sewing.
And like sitting in your floor.
Sitting in the floor, being on your floor, like spreading it out, not worried about table space, not worried about, any posture. There's something really interesting about that. So let us know if you guys tend to sew on the floor or learn on the floor. Like, I think there's something really interesting about that. Just being able to have space and whatnot. So really cool.
I think, there's no space. I had this little footstool that I found in our house and I set my sewing machine on the footstool. And I just sat in my room. I lived with my parents. I think I was like 16.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, and
Y'all are living the same life.
I wanted a trash bag for my car because I...
That's right, you made and sold car trash bags.
I did. I wish I had some pictures of them, but... So I went and got some the plasticky tablecloths for the inside, so it would be waterproof and I could wipe it out. And then I got it was a green fabric with little boho elephants all over it, and I had it for years. And I just sat and I figured out a pattern. I wish I had the original and then the last ones I made, because the original ones I made were awful. I never knew how to use a pattern. I know how to use a pattern okay right now, but I was just making stuff up, you guys.
Yeah.
And the only way I even knew how to sew was that came with a DVD in my box. So I put my DVD and I watched a little bit of that. But y'all know I don't like to follow the directions. I just did it how I wanted to do it, and I figured it out. Okay, I'm ironing this back out before we add on the rickrack. This looks so adorbs, though. I just love this. I need this to be do you see how it's very deep? I don't want that.
Okay.
So I think I'm gonna separate it and try to, there we go. Is that not focusing still, Lauren?
It just needs some sort of contrast or item to constantly.
Is that in the screen?
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry, I keep moving stuff around, but it's hard for me to teach and focus on that. Okay. Which we're not going to be able to see this, but it's trying to fold up on itself. And do you see what I'm talking about, guys? I don't like that. I feel like we're losing thickness.
Yeah. So you're just ironing it?
Yeah, I'm just trying to make it look a little better.
Super fun.
There's my dark spot. Dang it. He's going to be hidden, though. It's okay. It's all good. Okay. We do have a Cricut element today, guys, if you're wondering. We are going to do some type of lettering on here. Maybe USA, maybe monogram. I think a monogram would be really cute. We just did one letter on the original one, but we'll see what Maker's Gonna Learn's got.
Love it.
Okay. I'm not sure what keeps getting on this iron, because this looks clean and this looks clean. I don't know. Can y'all see that in the screen? No? Okay, good. Can you see it there at least?
Just the aperture on the.
I know.
Yeah, we need to. We'll have to.
We adjusted it last week, but I guess it's just not working. Okay, now we need to add in our ribbon, our rickrack. So I'm not putting it all the way on here. I'm kind of putting it partially off and partially on.
Show them what it looks like on this blue one. The partially on.
Yes.
You see how, let me put it on the back. See how you can just see some of it? And then on this side you can, does that help? Mm-hmm. Okay. So it's not all the way on it, but we need it kind of hanging off the edge. So that's what you're gonna do with this one. And I am gonna start mine. So the other one we did, we kind of started at the edge of the fabric, and I'm not in love with that. I think I want to start mine like here. Okay, because this part's going to be kind of bunched up in the knot. So I'm trying to draw attention away from the end of my rickrack. And I am going to cut this off really neatly. I don't know. I don't think we have a lighter in here, but one thing I like to do.
That's a great hack.
Yes, it is. When you have ribbon that is fraying, you can take a lighter and just singe it right on the edge, and it will seal in the edge of that ribbon.
I used to do that every time I made a card and I had my ribbon, and I would add my ribbon to my card and be like, oh,
so
the
cute.
edges.
I love that.
So fun.
Okay, I'm not going to put it all the way up here. I'm going to put it a little bit down. Actually, I'm going to put it a little bit further down. Just like so. And then, where's my other one? Right here. This one might be better with pins. I'm going to let y'all decide that on your own discretion. I'm going to put a couple pins in here. And sometimes pinning is the longest part of the whole process. And also, this ribbon is really forgiving, so whenever you're going to turn it, ooh. Trying to decide how I want to do that. Okay, so focus in. I know y'all are having issues trying to see the fabric versus the ribbon. So this ribbon right here, we've just went straight down, right? I'm gonna put my finger here and we're just gonna cross over. Do you guys see that? So put your finger right at the point of your sash. We're gonna cross it over, okay? And I'm gonna stick a pin right there. And we're gonna sew right over that so you won't even be able to tell. We just want a seamless ribbon on there.
Love it.
There you go. So we'll just pin it like that, and then we're just gonna keep working our way around. Does anybody have any questions? I have not answered any questions.
So good.
Oh,
No
good.
questions. Having so much fun. Someone said crochet hooks works great for the points. I love that hack.
Oh yes, see that's like perfect. Someone said a robe was their first project.
No way.
You were ambitious.
That is crazy. That's hard, hard, hard.
I tried to make a bathing suit cover up for Ruby when she was little, and that was my last sewing project, and I haven't, well, besides the ones here at work, my last personal one. But I really have been wanting to make a puff quilt for like 2.5 years now. I'm just not a big quilter.
A puff coat?
A puff quilt.
A puff quilt. Aww.
Yes. And then me and Lauren have talked about making, like getting old blankets and doing like blankets into jackets. Yeah. Or even blankets into hoodies. We do have a sewing tutorial coming up next month that is like a boho, I don't know, what would you guys call it? Like a boho upcycled t-shirt project.
Love it.
Yeah, it's very cool. We showed Tanner, and I was actually surprised that you even liked that project. I was very surprised. I thought it was cool, though. I think it's cool. So sometimes the pinning takes a little bit longer, and that's all right.
I think this is like the value of sewing. Like some of you may have been asking like, oh, you don't have to sew like what we just sewed. But like something like this, trying to attach with glue or things like that would be a lot harder. This is such a high-end way of sewing.
Yeah.
Being able to, you know, take full advantage.
Yeah, for sure.
Of attachment.
And I was a little heavy over here on the edge of the sash because it was going around lots of corners, and I want to make sure when you're going around corners, you want to make sure that you really have everything exactly where it needs to be and nothing's going to move around, because you don't want to have to worry about that while you're trying to put a stitch in. So for the longer stretches of ribbon, it's not that big of a deal. I can just kind of I've only got like 5 pins here. Okay, now for this edge, oops, here, let's pin this right here. For this edge, let's see, we may need to do the same thing. Actually, I think we can just kind of curve it. Oh yeah, that's gonna be fine. So you're just gonna be able to pull it a little bit on this corner because it's not as sharp of a turn as that one. But we are gonna pin the heck out of it. How about use all of our little pins? Okay. Now we're at one of those sharp corners again. So like we did before, you're gonna put your finger right on the corner of the sash, and then we're gonna pull it up, put it all the way at the corner. You're gonna pull it up, just like so. We're gonna pin that down. Okay, and then I'm just gonna swing this fabric all the way around. And we're gonna pin this all the way up. You'll also see these kind of pins, they're flat. I don't use these a lot, but you can. They're a little bit longer. Also, fun fact, I'd never used a weeding tool until I worked for Maker's Gonna Learn.
Which is crazy because you've been cutting vinyl for years.
Yeah, I only used a sewing pin for years.
Oh.
I only used a sewing pin.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy, crazy.
It's just what I did. I don't know. Okay, we're gonna go to camera 1 so you guys can see me pinning from up here. We're almost done pinning, and then we're gonna do our Cricut elements. Let me know in the comments what you think we should put on our sash.
Okay, I want to talk about this because we could do a monogram.
Yes.
We could do a saying.
Even like a little American flag would be kind of cute.
Would be adorable. It's a hard one.
It is a hard one.
I'm still stuck on the one singular letter. I think that just looks so classy.
Yeah.
Okay, let's
the one
just do-
a single letter monogram is giving Pottery Barn.
It's giving, yeah.
It's really giving Pottery Barn. It's like you paid $100.
Yeah, the font is Santorini.
Ooh.
So if you are a member already, go to our fonts on our website and type in Santorini, and you'll be able to download it and use it today. And if you're not a member, you can become a member today.
Amazing.
And you can start using our files today. You'll get 20 free downloads right when you sign up. Do we have the dollar deal?
It's there, yes.
Yes. Okay. If you're brand new here and you're wanting to sign up for membership, you're like, I want a Cricut. I want to make stuff with my Cricut. We do have a dollar deal going right now, which is incredible.
You get 20 credits
Yep.
to try any file you want for $1, 7 days, and if you don't cancel, you'll become a monthly member, which is phenomenal.
Yeah.
We'd love to have you.
Okay, so I'm going to be sewing this with the rickrack facing me, and I'm not starting on a corner. Okay, we're not starting on a corner. You can see this is one of my sharp corners right here. I'm going to kind of put this in past a corner, okay? And we're just going to ride the edge of we're going pretty much right through the middle of our rickrack and riding the edge of the sash. You can't see it, which is the hard part, but if you go right through the middle and if you pinned it correctly, you should be good. Okay, so I've put my foot down. I'm going to put my needle into my ribbon, and as we sew, we're gonna take our pins out. We don't wanna sew over our pins. Okay, so I'm just going to, and be careful not to poke yourself. Take your time. If you need to slow the sewing down, do what you need to do. And this is just a plain old straight stitch. We're removing the pins as we go. Sorry, it's hard to apply pressure, gauge pressure with my standing up.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, if you did want to glue this, you could still pin it if you want, but really you could just glue it as you go. Like glue a section down and then,
Yeah, you wouldn't need all of the...
You don't need all the pins.
So good.
Somebody said they were making baby doll clothes at the age of 7. That's incredible. Whenever I was younger, I used to say I was going to make all my kids' clothes.
You said you were going to make all your kids' clothes?
It was like something I wanted to do.
Listen, what was it? Was it Ruby's first birthday where you like went all out?
Yes.
You also went out for Georgia's. I just wasn't there for her first birthday.
Not bad though. Not as hard.
I mean, y'all, if you could have been like Ruby Claire needs to understand. Her mama Worked for years.
I was like planning her first birthday before she was born.
Yes, yes. And it was the party like I had never seen it. I mean, she had it all.
I had a
awesome.
Ferris wheel.
Yes,
I had a
built
Yeah.
a Ferris wheel.
We built a Ferris wheel.
Oh, and the venue is awesome.
Yeah, the venue was awesome. My husband's very crafty as well. He won't admit it because he's in accounting, but
Well, he's a handy guy.
he is very
He
handy.
knows what's up.
I told him, I said, if you ever need another career, you can always be a handyman.
Yes. Oh
Because
my gosh.
he can do it all. Okay, keep going. Uh-oh, we're getting hung.
What do we got? What do we got?
We're getting hung up.
What happens when you get hung up in sewing?
Okay, I wish I could like
Do we pray over it?
give you guys a little close up, but
Okay.
you see it's stuck.
Yeah.
My bobbin thread
That's
is stuck.
scary.
So what we're gonna do, take your scissors, do not cut your fabric.
You just kind of loosen it up.
I'm just gonna snip it.
Oh.
Now normally I'd have like little snippers.
Mm-hmm.
I can go overhead and show you what it looks like. Maybe. I don't know what it's looking like here.
You ain't gonna- you can't
No,
get it.
okay. Anyways, it's very bundled up. Just trim it and start back. Okay, we're just,
Trim it on 3, like right behind the sewing machine right there.
can they see that? It's fine. Just trim it. Just trim it off. And then make sure your bobbin is threaded. I like to re-thread my bobbin sometimes after that happens because it's like the sewing machine tries to eat your fabric.
The bobbin is the hardest part of sewing, and that's what
Mm-hmm.
Atlas said. The bobbin is the hardest part.
Yeah, it is.
Yes, the bobbin is the hardest part.
Okay. And then we're just going to go back to where we were, if I can find it. Okay. You can really get in there and pull out all those threads if you want. I'm just going to clean it up after we get it completely sewn all the way around with little nippers.
Amazing.
Yeah. And then I'm just going to put it right back where it was, and we're going to keep on trucking. Sometimes it'll do that if your fabric is really thick, and right around that corner where we've got the ribbon and then we've got 2 layers of fabric, it just gets a little finicky. And that's all right. It's part of it. You can see how easy it is just to keep going.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, now we're at a corner, so slow down just a little bit here. And be wary of your thread getting bundled. Remember, keep your needle down when you're moving your fabric, okay? Otherwise, it's gonna mess up. Pull your pins out if you need to, and then we're gonna sew this edge. Sometimes I get the pins a little too close to the foot and I can't get them out. I'm gonna let this hang so it works better. This is the worst posture ever. Don't sew like this.
Don't sew like this. Bent over.
Yeah. You will though. My grandmother, she sewed, and she still does a little bit. She sews in the floor. She sits in the floor on her knees,
Wow.
like still, and that's how
Wow.
she sews. And I'm like, that is such bad posture.
So someone asked, what would they look for in a beginner sewing machine?
Well, I wish I could give you better tips for this, but it's more so things you don't need. Like, you don't need to look into an embroidery sewing machine.
Yeah,
You
that's
don't
a
need
good
to
point.
have a whole bunch of stitches. You know, like when you get a machine, it's like, oh, over 300 stitches. And
Yeah.
it's like, be so for real right now. Like, you just need a straight stitch.
Yeah.
You like, or even just like a zigzag stitch sometimes
Yeah.
for buttons and stuff. But I say just don't, if you're starting out, don't over invest in a machine until you know that you love it. Just get a beginner friendly machine that doesn't have a ton of stitches
Okay.
that you can complete projects like this on.
Love it.
And this machine should be linked below. This is a great starter machine.
Yeah, and I think it's only a couple $100.
Yeah, it's not bad at all.
And these are, you know, you can find these. I'm surprised at how well available they are. I mean, Walmart.
Yeah, you can straight up go to Walmart and get
Targets, you know, like different stores. Joann's was a hub for sewists, sewing enthusiasts. So those.
Now you can go to Michael's.
You can go to Michael's. I'm excited to see, you know, yes, we're going to miss Joann's. We'll bless them out. But, you know, there's new opportunity. Like, what if there's a new place that comes on the market now that, you know, there's this big industry that needs a leader? It'll be, you know, interesting. Like, you never know. Like, maybe the framing department of Michael's will shift, or, you know, something fun there will happen for that store. We noticed that it was like Alicia showed
on the
me
website
on Michaels.com that they're welcoming Joann customers. So they are taking full advantage of this pivot.
I actually love that they did that. I love it.
It's very unfortunate, but we're making lemonade out of lemons.
Right. Okay, the sewing machine's having trouble getting around this corner, so I went ahead and pulled it out, and I'm just gonna put it back in.
Okay. And did you have to do a backstitch to do that?
Nope.
Cool.
I just pulled the needle straight up.
Okay.
And
incredible.
And cut the thread. Okay. We are almost to the end.
Woohoo!
Then we got to put our little Cricut element on, which will take like 2.5 seconds. Put your hair in a bun if you're going to sew. And you can put it in a bun. Okay, pull your needle up, pull it all the way out, nip it, and then trim all of your threads, y'all. Trim your threads, please and thank you.
Love it.
Gotta make it look good. This is Pottery Barn level.
Yes.
Okay. You really got to check. Like where you start and stop, you're always going to have a bunch of threads. So if you make it all the way through on one run, then you're probably good to go, other than right where you started and right where you stopped. But look.
Woohoo! From scratch.
So cute. From scratch.
So
I love it. So now we need to do our letter.
Yep.
And then I'm going to show you how to tie it. Okay. So not a lot left. Let me grab my keyboard and my mousey. And we are going to open up Cricut Design Space. Okay. So I'm in Cricut. We're just going to do a new. And I brought a measuring. There it is. For this one, we want to fill out just a little area of this. So about 3 inches wide is about how wide we want our letter. And then let's see if we've got Santorini installed in here. Okay, let's go to fonts, system fonts, Santorini. Stop at MGL just to see. No, okay, this is great because I can show you guys the website. So from here, we're gonna go into makersgonnalearn.com, and I'm gonna show you all where to find our fonts. If you are an OG, then you already know, but if you're new, then you won't know. This is our website, and you can see we've got Cut Files fonts. Your dashboard, whenever you become a member, will be right here. Oh, we're not signed in. Oh yeah, we are. And you can get to all of that from here as well. You get access to a Facebook group exclusively for Makers Gonna Learn members. You also get tons of resources. We have master classes every month. We've got all of our commercial licensing here. When you become a member, you do get a commercial license to use our files and fonts, meaning you can sell them on Etsy. You can sell them at crafts shows and things like that. So that's pretty cool. And then I'm just gonna go to our fonts. We're gonna go type in Santorini. We have, I would say, We've got to be getting close to 2,000 fonts.
Oh my gosh, we have so many amazing fonts. Look at that Sweet Lemon.
Yes.
I love that font.
It's loading, and it's not letting me move.
Is your mouse on it? Is it the computer?
Well, it was loading, and then, hold on. Hello. Hello. Interesting. It's just frozen.
What had froze?
It says paused up there, the top right.
Where does it say paused?
Right here. I don't know.
Oh, it always says that.
Oh, okay.
I wonder if it died. Did our mouse die?
Did he die on us?
Can I just say, I have been
This
having
mouse?
some of the weirdest. Okay, it's back, and it's back. But
Okay,
I just
love
have
that
to
for us.
say,
Is this internet issues?
Yes.
not necessarily
Oh.
internet issues, no. I've just been having odd things happen. Like, just so odd.
Odd. Unique. Okay, so you'll hit that download icon. It's going to pop into your recent downloads. If you can't find it, just go to your downloads in either your Finder or your File Explorer, and you're going to type in MGL Santorini. Anytime you download a Maker's Gonna Learn font, it's going to start with MGL. So if you lose it in your download somewhere, which happens often, you would not believe, you're not crazy. You did download it. You just need to go search for it. Sometimes it doesn't go directly to your downloads, which makes no sense to me. But yeah, double click on it once you find it, and then we're going to hit install font. It's going to install onto your computer, but we need to go back into Cricut, and we need to save our project as Sash or whatever you want to call it. We're going to hit save, and then we are going to reload, and then it's going to be in Cricut. It's like magic. And again, all the links for everything that we use today are in the description if you guys need it. Okay. So click your G, go back to your fonts. Now, if you type in Santorini under, while you've got Cricut selected in your text box, you're not going to be able to find it. So you need to go to System, which is where your downloaded fonts will live. And if you just want to look at your MGL fonts, you can simply type in MGL. Or you can type in the actual name of the font. But we found a lot of people were having issues finding the fonts they downloaded from our website. So we went through and renamed all the fonts in our website. The internet's trying to play a joke on us today, so apparently. If you guys have questions, go ahead and drop them now while that is loading. We have two internets.
We have two internets, and I'm telling you, the devil's playing with the church's money. And I don't know, and it's funny that I've had just odd encounters with lots of random things this week. And I've noticed other people also just having odd encounters.
Well, Monday was a full moon.
Well, I feel that.
Yeah, it was. So,
Well,
yeah.
I don't know much about astrology, but I know Mercury is not in retrograde because I Googled it. But I will tell you,
so funny.
something is off. I feel great though. I don't know if y'all feel great. I feel great. I just feel
Are
like
y'all
there's
feeling
something.
good, or are you feeling the universe
Are
is
you
off?
feeling that you're off? Because there is technology's off for me. I don't know.
Technology's been off for me for like the last week or so too, so I
Yeah.
definitely feel that.
Yeah, it's just my pool. Listen, my pool guy, I'm just gonna stop there. A lot of things.
Okay, I've got a standard grit mat out. I'm gonna put my HTV on here. Now we're using heat transfer vinyl, which is what you should be using as well. This has a built-in transfer sheet, or a carrier sheet is what we like to call it sometimes. Typically the carrier sheet is shiny, sometimes it's matte, but it always needs to go face down on your mat. So this is a shiny carrier sheet. We're gonna put it face down. Okay, if you're unsure, you can always take a pin or like a weeding tool and kind of lift up the vinyl here in the corner. I'm going to show you guys just so you kind of have an idea. I know a lot of you all, you're like, I know that. You can actually see there's the vinyl and then there's the carrier sheet. We're going to be cutting this letter in reverse, okay? Because since the carrier sheet is built in, then we need to cut it that way. If you're using regular adhesive vinyl, you would not do it this way. So you're going to put it face down, and then you're going to mirror your design. And may not be cutting anything if the internet doesn't come back on. I don't know what's...
Is your mouse working?
No, it's frozen.
If your mouse doesn't work, it's not an internet issue.
But no, look, it's like frozen loading. Like it was loading and it's like frozen loading.
You might have to force quit design space, but if you can't get your mouse to move.
That is a predicament.
Control Shift Delete. Does that still work?
Command Q.
Command Q.
But the whole it's the computer, not our internet currently.
Okay.
It's a lovely day.
I love that. Can
Here in
Holly cut us a
MGL.
little G really quick?
It's a lovely,
Here, take this to Holly.
lovely
And
day
I'm going
in
to
the
show them how to
neighborhood.
tie it.
Love it.
Okay, let me grab the wreath so you guys can see how to tie.
Let's talk about this wreath.
Okay.
Where did you get it? Let's talk about it.
I think it's from Hobby Lobby. I think Courtney got this from Hobby Lobby.
So fun.
Probably.
We've probably had it for a while.
It's honestly a really beautiful faux
love
wreath.
it.
Yeah, I do
Love
too.
it, love it.
Wreaths are my favorite.
Mine too. They're just classic. Okay, I love this. So what you're gonna do, I'm gonna go overhead and pray that you guys can see that. Pretty good.
I think the green will be a lot of contrast.
It's gonna
so
hold
we should
it.
be
The
good.
green is great.
Okay, cute. So there's a couple different ways. Honestly, you just kind of have to piddle with it until you get it right. Obviously, we, like you can see with this one, you end up needing them to both face with the points on the outermost edge. So these little points need to be on the outermost edge. Personally, that's how I like it. I guess you could technically do them facing this way, but like, it depends on how your rickrack is sewn on. So let's just see. So I'm going to loop this through. Okay. And like I said, I want my points to be on the outermost edge. So I'm kind of getting it closer to the greenery, as close as I can. Now this side's going to kind of stay still. This side needs to be a little bit longer. Okay, the one that goes behind needs to be a little bit longer. And then we are just going to pull it up. I'm kind of like really grabbing onto my wreath right here, okay? And if you need to, you can cut off some greenery if you're feeling frisky. And then I'm going to tie this through just like so. Thank you, Holly. You saved the day. Thank you. Oh, shoot. Cut it in Santorini and, what was it, 3 inches?
3 inches.
Yeah, cut it in Santorini in 3 inches. Sorry, should have specified. Okay, so then you're just gonna kind of play around with this. You want your tails to be the same length. Now these tails are gonna be a little bit shorter than our other tails, and that's fine, but not too bad. Okay. And then I also really like to like puff out this middle portion. Just a little bit. Okay. And then you sometimes have to get in here and twist. All the ugly parts are going to live under your knot. Okay. All the ugly parts live there. So then we've got just like that. That's it. I would put something under there that's darker than the table.
Yeah. It's
My
okay.
arms, but I'm pretty white too, so I don't. Yeah, let's go to camera one.
Yay! Okay, so our computer just completely froze and reset. So our computer is coming back. It was not an internet problem. It was
It's
just
the
our
computer.
computer. Well, I love it.
I love it
Oh
too.
my gosh. And we're getting our new little monogram, and we'll go add our little monogram on here.
Yes,
It's gonna be
Holly's making us a little
adorable.
monogram really quick. I want to answer
This
any
is a great
questions.
use for the mini easy press for such a
Yes.
unique project to come through.
I agree.
Size and things like that. So, yay, love it, love it, love it, love it.
Sarah, I sew people, but I cannot sew fabric.
Listen, I thought
is
that-
this Dr. Sarah?
This is Dr. Sarah.
Hi,
Preston.
Dr. Sarah.
She's amazing. She's been on the YouTube channel. She delivers babies. So
Yes,
she
you are
sews
sewing people.
people up.
You sew people
Crazy,
like me.
crazy. And look at this Santorini.
Coming
Ew.
through. Oh, that's cute. Okay.
Woo.
So this is our little piece of red vinyl. I'm gonna weed it off. Look, we're kicking it old school. I'm weeding it with a stick pin. We're just gonna pull this off. So we're pulling off the parts that we do not want, right? We don't want anything around the G. And I will say HTV or heat transfer vinyl is a lot more forgiving than adhesive vinyl when it comes to weeding. You can kind of do it faster and
Yeah.
not as neat. And then normally I would iron this on before I put it on the wreath, guys, but I was just showing you all how to do it. We're
The
just
beauty
gonna,
of live television.
yes. We're just going to, what is that? I think it's just grass or something. I'm not trying to make this thing dirty. Okay, we're just gonna put it right here. You could put it on either one. I'm gonna put it on this one. Okay. Beautiful, just wherever looks right. My heat press went off, of course. And we're just gonna iron that baby on. And you don't need anything else. A lot of times people are like, don't you need something over the vinyl? The carrier sheet is the protective sheet, guys.
Yes.
So you don't need anything crazy. And you'll also notice, especially with red HTVs, whenever you apply heat, they darken, but they do lighten back up after they cool back down. So if you're like, oh, that's not the shade of red I wanted, it's fine. It'll cool back down and be the same. Okay, now a lot of these are warm peel or hot peel. Typically only cool peels you'll get are ones that are glitter or like holographic. Oh my gosh. Okay, let's go.
Looks beautiful.
Look how cute. I love it.
Ooh. Oh
Now,
my gosh.
Make sure you tie it according to where your hook is.
Yes.
So I should have really, if you want it down here, tie it down here. But yeah, I love it.
So amazing.
Yes.
So amazing.
Funsies.
Get it?
Funsies.
So amazing.
Yeah. So amazing.
You know, I didn't even get it until I got it.
My car trash bags were, my brand was called So Trashy.
I love that.
And my logo, I had a local tattoo artist friend draw me a logo that was like the hearts with the mom ribbon across, and it said So Trashy.
So
I wish I could find it. It was so cute.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Are y'all ready to get Pottery Barn wreathed up? It's so amazing being able to use the sewing machine and introduce more crafting and all the fun things. So super, super good. We love it, love it, love it. We're definitely going to bring this camera more in and closer to us because you all feel so far away.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't love this angle. So we're going to work on that.
Yeah,
it's
we
gonna
got
be,
some work
it's
to
going to be
do.
amazing.
Yeah.
But in the meantime, be sure to get in the membership. If you have a membership, I highly recommend getting the font Santorini. It's such a classic. Alicia already mentioned it earlier, but the fonts now, when you download them, have MGL. So super fun
Makes it
project
easy
to
to find.
organize, see what you got. Really awesome. And if you're not a member, you can get a membership for only $1 today. So super, super fun. Get in there, 20 download credits. That's 5 cents per credit.
Not bad.
Really awesome. And you can, after the 7th day, get full access to our library. So if you're a member, there's no download limits, things like that. Super fun. If you want to learn more about how you could sell something like this, it would be so awesome doing a personalized wreath that you are able to hand sew and add Cricut elements and things like that. Definitely attend our Etsy Effect and learn what could happen to your business when you get on Etsy.
Oh yeah.
That's happening June 10th. That's a Tuesday. It's a live experience. There's a replay, all for $27
Not bad.
for amazing classes happening that day. So we'd love to have you, and get ready if you're already a member of Makers, because we have some really fun things coming in July, this summer, and leading right into the fall and the busy holiday season. It's gonna be so awesome. All right, anything else? I mean, sewing with you was so fun.
Thanks. Hope you guys had fun. I hope you appreciate our weird camera angles.
Yeah,
and
sorry about that. We're so perfect in the studio. It's gonna be awesome.
It's gonna be great.
So good.
All right.
Well, awesome. We'll see you back here next Wednesday at 1:30 p.m. Eastern. Bye, guys.
Bye.